How's it going, YouTube, and welcome back, agents. Today's simulation is a game of Deathmatch on Venice. Now this might be game 5 or 6 of my no smoke no mute session, where I try to win the game without the use of smoke and or mute, and it does go pretty well. So I finally hit Prestige 20. Well, you might be thinking to yourself, David, you're not Prestige 20, you're only Prestige 18. And yes, that's true, I'm only Prestige 18 on this account. But I was Prestige 1, or the very first Prestige, on my primary account. Now you might be like, well, why have you got 2 accounts to play on? And that also is another very good question. And I'm just going to get a focus incognito on the sentinel here with the use of poison. And the reason why I do that is because since they patched it, you can no longer stun somebody who's poisoned you, which is, in my opinion, a much more respectful way of getting a focus instead of using a smoke bomb where the player can't move or do nothing or do anything. You just sneakily run in, drop a poison off, wait for the focus to build up, and bosh, got yourself a focus. So yeah, my original gamer tag when I played Revelations was Foot Soldier, and like I said, I got to the very first Prestige. Might have been level 46 on that first Prestige, and unfortunately for me, my account, my ACR save profile, got corrupted. Now the only thing I can think of that caused it to corrupt was I put a memory stick into my Xbox to transfer some music to the hard drive, and I played a couple of games of multiplayer with the memory stick still plugged in, and before the game actually loaded up, it asked me to save or to select a save location, and I was like, but I don't want to select a save location, I want it on my hard drive, so I cancelled it. Of course I went in and played a couple of games, well I think I played one game of Deathmatch, and after that game, at the end it told me that it gave me an error message saying unable to save to primary location or something like that. Something along that line. And I tried to play another game after that, but my Xbox crashed. So I reloaded it, and right before it connects to the Abstergo network, aka the Ubisoft server, where it would sync, it crashed my Xbox, and every single time I've tried it, it crashes my Xbox in exactly the same place. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, contact the Ubisoft support and they'll be able to help you. Well, this happened back in February, and yes, I did contact Ubisoft to try and get them to help me, but they were absolutely useless, to be honest with you. They went through as many scenarios as possible to try and help me, but unfortunately nothing was able to fix this problem. And don't get me wrong, I told them exactly what the problem was. I didn't leave any details out, so they knew what the problem was. The solution that needed to be found was just escaping them and me, in a way. So what I decided to do was to ensure that it wasn't a disc. I created a secondary profile, this one, King Soldier. And you might be thinking, well, where did you get King Soldier from? That's got no bearing whatsoever on Assassin's Creed. And I was like, that's true. But with my gamer tag being Foot Soldier on my primary account, and if you don't know what a foot soldier is, it is a slang term for an infantryman, guys that are on the front line, and also it is the clan soldiers for the Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was, back in the day, a freaking awesome cartoon. So that's where Foot Soldier came from. So of course I carried the soldier over to my secondary account, and with the single player of this of Revelations being set in the early 1500s, the King of England at the time was Henry VIII. So that's where Kings comes from. So of course the game played fine on this account when I told them that, and they were like, well, if the game works, then there's no problem. And I was like, but yeah, there is a problem. I still can't play it on my primary account, which is the whole point why I contacted you in the first place. And they were like, sorry, there's no problem. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, I can't be bothered with this anymore. So basically, since February, I've been playing on this, my secondary account. Also been paying for Xbox Live on my secondary account on top of my primary account. But with AC3 coming out, I will be going back to my primary account. There will be no need for this account anymore, and there's no point in me having two accounts. So if you're already on my friends list at this moment in time, you will be getting a message from my primary account stating the inactivity of this account, along with a friend request from that primary account. And that primary account is King Soldier. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, how can you have two accounts with the same name? And that's a very good question. Well, the only difference is that this account has got a small e in Soldier, as you just saw, and there it is again. But on my other account, it's a 3, the elite version of E. So if you've watched any of my Gamer's Beverage videos, you might have noticed that, and you might have been thinking, well, why has he put that? That's not his gamer tag. Well, it will be, once again, when AC3 comes out. So yeah, that's why I kind of feel I'm at Prestige 20, because I've lost 2 levels of two levels of 0 to 50 on my primary account, and I'm like level 25 Prestige 18 on this account, so I have surpassed Prestige 20. So my multiplayer isn't going to be, I'm not really going to be playing it too much more in these next couple of weeks. I might jump on here and there to try and record something to get for you guys, because the stuff I've got left on my hard drive is just like 15, 16, 17k assassinate games where I'm using smoke and mute against noobs. So I know a lot of people are disinterested in seeing noob lobbies, and they want to see competitive, and that's fine. I'm going to try and get some competitive games where I don't use smoke or mute, and hopefully that'll go a long way to keeping you guys interested in what I'm uploading. Speaking of which, I wanted to put an idea across to ask you what you would think of a multiplayer mashup, and that would consist of highlights of all the commentaries that I've made and posted to YouTube. So if there was something interesting in a match that I uploaded to YouTube, I was thinking of sticking it in like a mashup, because I've got a pretty cool song that I wanted to use. Extreme Variety, Shimon motherfucker. Yeah, I don't get Extreme Variety in Deathmatch too often, but since I've not been using Smoke and Poison, I've had it quite a few times, so that kind of stands good stead in reasons why you shouldn't use smoke and mute. But yeah, I've got excuse me, I've got a really cool song that I want to use for a mashup. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know. Like I said, it's not going to be a montage or anything of like 3-piece grab kills or nothing like that. I ain't fucking evil assassin. It's just going to be, like I said, a highlights reel kind of anything I feel interesting that out of any of the commentaries that I've made. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. What else? I think, like I said at the beginning, this was like game 5 or 6 of us out of a session where I wasn't using smoke and mute, and I managed to get 9k. But credit to, because our client, he wasn't using smoke neither, so he did pretty well for himself. Although comparing to me, he wasn't going to. Well, he could be a player that's on a secondary account like me, but with all the experience that I have, I don't think almost 4,000 points was really going to be too much of a problem. So yeah, that's the end of that. I hope you liked the commentary. It was a bit more personal. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you later, YouTube.